Hey, party people, happy Friday. This is example 2 in 1-9. The following equation shows the number of gallons left in a water tank after m number of minutes. G is equal to 790 minus 16m. So first thing I want to talk about here is which one of these numbers in this equation, which one of those numbers is acting like my rate, is the one that's like my slope or happening more than once? Is it the 790 or that 16? And the answer to that is the negative 16. Because remember, and that's what's tricky about, and I just spoke that wrong, is that that's not just a 16. That's a negative 16. So that piece is like my slope or my rate. And that 790 is like that initial value because that's the one that doesn't have the x there. So the answer to these questions are really all found in that first sentence. So part A wants to know, what does the 790 represent? Well, in the context of this problem, it is the initial value, like we already said, but we need to talk about what it means in this problem. What does initial value mean in the problem that we're dealing with? So the following equation shows the number of gallons left in a water tank. G, the number of gallons left in a water tank after M. Ooh, that's really dark. I don't like that. Let's try a different highlighter. Green. After M, number of minutes. M is minutes. So the 790 represents the number of gallons in the tank to start with. You know, that initial value, the starting number of gallons in the tank, specifically what this problem is talking about. So 790 represents the 790 gallons of water in the tank to start with, or at the beginning, or initially. The 790 gallons of water in the tank to start with, that initial starting point. What does the negative 16 represent? Well, again, it's showing the gallons left. It's negative 16, which means it's taking away or going down. And if I'm talking about the number of gallons left in a water tank after m number of minutes, that 16 is representing the number of gallons coming out, because it's negative, of that tank every minute. Hence the reason why it's next to that n. So the negative 16 represents the 16 gallons of water draining from the tank. And now this is the important thing, because you can't just say the 16 gallons of water draining from the tank, because that would imply that the 16 gallons is only happening once. You need to have the per minute. It's the number of gallons, it's the 16 number of gallons draining from the tank per minute. Very important piece there. All right, part C is asking us, how long will it take for the tank to be completely empty? Well, if I look back at my equation, G is equal to 790 minus 16m. Completely empty would mean what's in the tank? Nothing. 0 gallons would be in the tank. So where would I plug in my 0 for? Well, if 0 is gallons, that's going to go in for G. So now I just need to solve the equation 0 equals 790 minus 16m. Yeah, you can minus your 790 over. You also could have just added the 16m over. It doesn't really matter which one you do. So negative 790 is equal to negative 16. And it would also make sense here if maybe you forgot or messed up on those negatives. If you end up with a negative amount of time, you have a red flag there. So 790 divides 16. Oh, that's not the nice number I thought it was going to be. Okay, that's fine. So 790 divides 16 is 49.375. 49.375. So how long will it take for the tank to be completely empty? It will take, let's see, approximately 49 minutes to empty the tank. A little bit more. And there you go. There's your example 2.